first day at Petfood Asia 2020, and we will be going through the show together. Today we'll be talking mainly about pet food trends in this very special year, 2020. Before that, I would like just to say a few words about the situation, the global situation around the world with COVID-19. So at Petfood Asia, I must say we are very lucky that we have the chance to organize this exhibition in August 2020. The last big event this year happened in February. It was in the USA. So I hope through these videos in the next few days we will be able to see that we are recovering. And I think it's a good chance to show the global pet industry that the pet industry actually is doing very well despite the circumstances. So this year at Petfood Asia we are using 17 halls. It's about 220,000 square meters, more than 2 million square feet. And it's a long walk if you want to visit the whole show. So we're going to visit first the innovation area for the new products. It's in the E1 hall over there, so we're going to take the shuttle bus to go there. Okay, so now I'm wearing the mask because we are inside the hall. I will be keeping this mask the whole time. This hall is a series of halls dedicated to pet accessories. So we're gonna have a look at it and then go to the new products area. Let's go. So there's a lot of international brands mixed with local brands. Tomorrow we will be talking about the innovation in Chinese pet industry. So we will come back to this area with some accessories, products, purely Chinese local brands. But now let's focus on the innovation area. So the innovation area is a section we have been organizing at Petfood Asia for several years now, and it's dedicated to a new product launching in the market. So this year in this innovation area, there is a lot of new products in the pet food segment. For instance, this kind of product from a Chinese manufacturer with, as you can see, a focus on design. It's pet food including additives like vitamin C, E or B2. Let's have a look at what was being available today. For instance, a trend we've been seeing in the past few years is the more and more freeze-dried and air-dried products. So you can see another major Chinese manufacturer doing air-dried products. New brands in China here, as you can see. Again, products are one thing, the way they present themselves is also very interesting because you can see the focus on design is much more important than in the past. When you see cans, for instance, there is a special shape in the can. They are curved inside, as you can see. These are quite interesting and not much seen prior to this year. Cans again, as you can see, this kind of product. So a local brand as well. And if you see, made in Thailand. So we will probably be talking about this more in the future, but obviously for wet food, Thailand is still a major producer, and we hope that in the future countries in the region, maybe in Southeast Asia, will be more present, a larger offer than just Thailand, but so far it's a clear leader in the wet food industry. At the show we also have of course a lot of foreign companies and foreign brands. New Zealand, for instance, is very well present in Petfood Asia for the past few years and in the Chinese market in general. What else do we have here? We have a few American brands, more and more in the past few years, especially this year because lots of factories have been approved by the Chinese customs. So a new brand here in the Chinese market. with a focus, as you can see, on health. And this is also a clear trend, how much calorie input your pets will get when they eat this kind of food or another kind. Italian brands here have been present in China for many years now, also focus on healthcare with no preservative, no coloring, etc. So this is also a very important trend in China market. I think the consumers are more and more aware of this and demanding in terms of product quality. New products, again from China, company from China, from which region? Let's see. From Shandong, so the north of China. All right, a new brand with their own specific design, maybe targeting local customers. More imported brands here from Canada, from New Zealand, so a lot of people know this brand obviously. I guess this is a new product from them, launching snacks, and that's it for here. So we'll be seeing a lot more brands in the coming minutes. Let's go. I'll have a look at this hall. So this is another hall mixing local pet food, distributors and purely international companies. Here, as you can see, there's a distributor bringing a lot of international brands, both in pet food and non-food. This kind of distributor does not focus on any specific country or product types. They really mix the product line that can fit their customers' needs. Some of their products actually are made by themselves in their own factory. So there is a mix of products that are imported from various continents and countries, and China-made products. So we're going to start interview with important distributors based in Shanghai, called Weiren. They've been distributing a lot of foreign brands in the past 2 years, from various origins, New Zealand, Europe, etc. And they focus on premium pet products. So they are customers based. I mean, retailers are professionals interested in providing this kind of high level product to their consumers. Hello, Daniel. So Weiren started to operate in China for many years now, in 2008, I believe. For all these years, you've been focusing mainly on bringing foreign brands into the Chinese market, and especially, I would say, foreign brands in the premium segments. Very recently, I think you mainly focus on pet food, but also on grooming, and you have a strong New Zealand flavor with canine natural and addiction, right? Yeah. Okay. I'd like to ask you a few questions to understand a bit more about the trends in Chinese market from your perspective as a distributor. So the first question I have is, okay, tell me a bit more about the latest trends in China, how the taste of Chinese consumer is evolving in the recent years when it comes to feeding their pets. So for instance, the food type preference, what marketing message they're sensitive to, etc.
The first question is that the more premium pet food and come into China, and the high end of the pet owners, they are looking for the good pet food and the good quality pet food, but they are lack of the feeding experience and the knowledge, so they don't know how to choose the good pet food and the right pet food. So in these years, these pet owners, they are trying to buy some premium pet food like importing the pet food like now Go and K9 Natural or Z-Week, but they don't know why this pet food is good, and we provide some material to education them, but they don't completely understand why. So this is a trend. People looking for the good pet food, and the meantime they try to buy some local food, but it's premium food. So this is a two choice in these premium pet owners. This is the first question. And second question is most of our competitors, they are local brands, and they used to use the way to do the competition is to do the cut of the price and price competitive. So our clients like retailers and wholesalers, they need a more discount to do the marketing work, but we don't do that. We just provide some training and education to our clients and consumers. But this is maybe will take more time to let them to understand. So this is very hard work in the market, but we still do this, and I think this is a long-term work, in China, And the third question is.
So the question was, are the Chinese consumer sensitive to marketing?
Oh, yeah. We have the lecture teams and the vets, and also we provide some education materials for our clients, and we also know our market position is in the high end, and so our consumers who is a K9 Natural product user, they care about the quality more than price. So we provide some information from overseas, like nutrition and some like skin problem or feeding guideline, like this material to our clients, so they can learn more and understand more to make the right and good choice to their pets. That is what we do now to the consumer in China.
Okay. Like you just mentioned, there is a real progress from Chinese local manufacturer in terms of quality, maybe, and branding. That's for sure. The design of the products, etc., is really getting better. Does this affect your confidence in a brand like K9, an imported brand in general for the Chinese market?
Yeah, just like I say that our competitors, they are used to price competition. So we do more things, training the retailers. They can learn something is right information to teach their clients, and their clients, they can choose some high quality and good product in their store. This is very important in the offline market. Yeah.
So just to pursue on this topic, if you walk the show last year, but maybe this year, if you walk the show last year and maybe this year even more, there is a clear trend of everyone doing freeze-dried products. How would you, as a premium brand with a premium pricing, how do you explain that not all freeze-dried products are created equal, you know.
Yeah, I know that because the local price is maybe our price is 4 or 5 times with the local products. So we need to teach them what the difference between the Canine Nature with the local brands, and we also have some video or some social media to teach the consumer the production line, what they do, and how many things like nutrition or energy in our product, and this is different with the local product. And also, we have just like I think it's a training again because they lack of the feeding knowledge and the product knowledge, so they need more information to teach them. Local food and the Canine Nature, this is very different, and we teach them how distinguish the two products is different. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. I wish you good luck for the show, and I will see you around in the next few days.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the interview. Hello, Bill.
Yes, Yank.
Pure Natural was launched about 7 years ago.
Yes.
I would like to know, what do you think how the consumer have changed over the past 7 years, and what's the main difference between today and the time you have launched?
Oh, thank you, Yannick. This is really a good question. The difference between now and 2013, I think we can tell from the scale of this exhibition. I mean, back to when we launched Pure and Nature back to 7 years ago, I remember there were only 2 halls like this in this exhibition. Today, totally 17 halls with more than 200,000 square meters of space, 2,000 exhibitors, all competing in this fiercely in this market. So this is a change on the supply side. And on the demand side, consumers in the younger generation prefer to do their own research before they choosing and laying trust on a brand. That brings a challenge for those any suppliers in this market to how to gain trust and pick up by those consumers. Yeah.
Even though, despite this competition, I think we've seen your brands, Pure and Natural, in the past few years more and more in the market. I see you in a lot in offline retail stores.
Yeah.
So I think you're doing quite well considering.
Yeah.
How do you think your products are finding? How do you manage to have your products find your customer and be successful like this?
I think the answer is simple, because we really do truly good pet foods. As I mentioned earlier, consumers right now today, they prefer to do their own research because they really value the quality of a product from they choose very much, and they when they do the research, they are not going to be cheated by any products only have those selling points, over-promised selling points on the packages. You know, later this year, Pure and Nature will open its second factory in China with fully automatic processing, state-of-the-art technology, 100% suitable logistic systems, you know, back to the raw material level. I believe in this kind of transparency we present to our consumers can help us to bring the liability, the confidence for our consumer to see our brands as a reliable pet food supplier. Yeah.
Yeah, so transparency, generally speaking, is very
We can gain
important.
the trust to build our brand image. Yeah.
One last question, if you don't mind. So you currently mainly sell your product in Chinese pet markets, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
So do you have any plans for export? And if yes, do you have markets in mind? Are there the traditionally markets like US, Europe, etc., that are already developed, or would you try to focus on potential fast-growing markets?
Yes, we certainly have the intention to build Pure and Natural into an international brand, but right now we don't have. We haven't had come to a stage to have any executive plans yet. But if we do want to extend outside China, I think countries nearby China, such as Korea, Japan, and some Southeast Asia countries, will be suitable markets to start with.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Yannick.
Have a nice show.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. And you have to look up as well. Let's go have a look inside. So Purina is getting very, very strong in China, especially in the cat segment. They have several product lines for cats, and this is what has been giving them a lot of presence and a lot of weight in the Chinese market. They were maybe starting a bit later than their main large competitor, international competitors, but they have been getting a lot of attention in the past few years, especially thanks to the cat segment. So I'm going to interview the general manager of the China office, so we can get a bit more of insight from her perspective. Hello, Zoe. It's my pleasure to be here today at the Purina booth at Pet Fair Asia 2020 to talk with you. I know you are a very busy lady, so let's get straight away to the questions. I wanted to ask you a few questions. The first one being, during the COVID-19 epidemic, how did your company, how do you as a leader dealt with this situation, both internally at the company, but also how did you support your partners and clients?
Okay, so thank you, pleasure is mine. Thank you for your time to give us the opportunity for interview. And then during that epic time, actually, because Nestlé Purina is a company with more than 126 years history. So the company is so well trained to cope with the urgency in a situation like that. So although it happened out of sudden, but actually our company took a lot of precautions to always put human being, staff, our employee, and then the distributor, people who works around us, we always put the safety and the well-being of these people on the first priority. So that time company did a lot of precaution to protect them first. And after that, so everyone is protected, and then the measure is taken. And then we did a lot of things, tried our best to really recover on the sustain the supply chain, to trying to produce whatever we can offer to the market. Because at that time, consumer did a lot of panic buying. That's why we want to try our best to offer. So if you ask me as an employee about the performance of our company during that COVID-19 time, I feel so proud being a staff working for Nestlé Purina, because we're very responsible for all the suppliers who is around us and provide service to us. We know it will be very difficult for them. So during that time, we take some, in the past, we will pay them credit. The date of payment will be more than 6 days. 2 months, but that time we just, we take precautions to really shorten of these payment dates, because we want to give those small companies very good cash flow to help them to go through this. But what I see from a broader perspective, I see, some, small company who is working like startup, they will have it's winter for them. So not only the company, very with a longer history and with more, I would say, resources, maybe they could, really survive from this crisis. But on the other hand, although it's cruel, but it has, opportunity there as well, because for some, companies who treasures long-term value, like Nestle Purina, always be ready for this crisis. So for those companies who is looking for the long-term successful, they invest very early for that. So there will be, even opportunity for them, because crisis like that would really raise the bar, the standard. So all the company, I will put this way, maybe, they just want to win some quick money, make quick money, just, go away. And now all the company who is seeking for long-term value, then they will survive. So it's like, Chinese, we have a word for that, 洗牌.
Okay.
洗牌, like that, yes. So I would see it has two perspectives, opportunities and risks.
Thank you. Some important things I would like to understand from your perspective is the change of consumer behavior in the past few years. I'm sure in China things are changing very fast, and the consumer behavior as well.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, because of a generation changing, they call the G generation, new generations like, post 90 and post 95, they're young. They're seeking, they are born in, exciting market like China. So they want everything fresh, excitement. But during that pandemic period, I think everyone kind of have, security. Safety is more important to them. That's the reason why, for example, like a wording of immune system, boost the immune system, this kind of, basic needs in the past, which people will just ignore, suddenly become so important. So actually this pandemic, they're very expensive costs, but they give us a right big lesson to let everyone, our consumer, to learn what's really important for them. So from the choice of the pet food, we see, some, they would go for some base, the real scientific nutrition. The company, so-called big brand, who really means it, talk about nutrition, but not only the sexy marketing world, those kind of fancy stuff, they go down. But the high quality products goes raise. So from my point of view, I think that's a good sign. Yeah, and then in the future, I think consumer learn during that period of time, and then in the future, we will continue invest in educating the market and still communicate about the real nutrition, what the real science behind to really benefit those dogs and cats. Yeah.
Okay, so actually this leads to my last question. Of course, there is a lot of competition in Chinese market today. A show like Petfair Asia, you've seen that has been growing like crazy in the past few years, and this is also your competition.
Yeah.
How do you think a major brand like yours, can keep up with this competition and keep innovating to stay in this market and stay strong in this market?
Nestle Purina is seeking for long-term success and the long-term value, which I said. We always, have that responsibility. We are the leader of the industry. So we have to take responsibilities on everything, build the fundamental thing. So competitor, in our mind, we classify into different categories. So for most of them, actually, we do not recognize them as a real competitor, because we know some, maybe they just have a quick purpose, have a quick money and go and leave. So they won't stay long. During the past 126 years, we've witnessed so many small companies like that, really up, down, ups and down, in every different kind of market. So, and then I would say, because I've been in this industry for around 20 years, I've seen them. So they create no value. Sometimes they can create only harm. So, but there is a positive thing about these people, because in the past, we've been continuing investing in this market for around 20 years to educate that commercial food about, we call it calorific conversion. So, but for all of these kind of the small brands, so at least because they sell so cheap, although quality is Yeah, but because of the cheap. So and then many of them. So at least they've very quickly they kind of act as an educator. So now most of consumer who goes online or goes to channel, they understand that the pet should be fed with commercial food, like this kind of education. So we should always look at this industry in positive eyes. But we always have to we have standard to act as the model, always a model of the industry, and to raise the standard and the bar of the industry, so everyone knows if you want to compete longer or really make money from consumer, you need to put all the effort on improving your quality of the food, not to cheat consumer, because the pet can live us like more than 10 years. Their lifespan is long, and now it's getting longer. So if you really want to make a lot of money from them, really respect them, but not to make quick money from them. So that's what we hope, and that's what the standard we give ourselves. So I hope that now it looks so prosperous, so many people attend, and then your show has been so successful. Every year expand the area. So many exhibitors who is, wants to have some place here. But I just hope in the future, in the next 10 years, I will still see those people still playing this ground. But they need to really invest in real things to improve the quality. Then from now on, 10 years later, we can tell that we really did something good to really help this industry. Sometime when we, in the future, we can be proud of what we have done that make the future possible and great. So I would like, all the competitors or so-called competitors or friends, and then they are joining us to improve the fundamental, to really build for the future of the industry. And thank you for, Pet Fair Asia. You've been the leader here already and always, provide such platform for all the exhibitors here. We appreciate your support and leading as well. Thank you.
So at Pet Fair Asia, there are a lot of brands like we've seen this afternoon from overseas, from China, distributors, brands on their own. But there is something very special in the show for many years now. Is there a section dedicated to pet food suppliers? Every year at the show, we have this growing section, currently gathering about 300 or 350 companies of pet food suppliers. So it can include machinery, for instance, ingredients company, palatability, all these kind of upstream stakeholders of the pet food industry. And I want to end this day by a short interview with Diana Pet Food, who's been present in China for many years, and their Asia Pacific sales and research office is in here. So let's finish the day with a short interview with Diana. Okay. Alain, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Okay, nice to meet you for the first time. I've been walking the show the whole day to check about Petfood Trends, and I wanted to end this day with Diana Pet Food because I think it's a good chance to have a real understanding of what are the trends in the market today. So I've seen a few things that we can see are really getting strong in China at the moment, for instance with freeze-dried pet food. But let's ask Alain about this. He knows much better than I do. So Alain, tell me a bit more about the latest trends in the pet food in global markets in general at the moment in terms of product type, etc.
Okay, so welcome to the Pet Food booth, of course, and we are very pleased to welcome and to share again what we see in the market actually at the moment. The palatable answer is somehow a tracker of the major trend, of course, for this region, but of course globally for Diana Pet Food as a global player. We do feel that this year the innovation and the market trends are more emphasized and reinforced than creating something totally from scratch and totally new. What we can see is that this somehow crisis period we experiment now for the last 6 months is setting a stronger bound between the pet parent and the pet by itself. So by this way, looking at the market, anything relating to the food experience, the food meal, we reinforce the power of the brand, of the pet food brand. So you can see sometimes that they are looking for more palatability, of course, more superfood, more naturalness, anything giving sense to the relationship, for example, more CSR value, what you are doing with your raw material, where it's coming from, clean and shorter and simple label. So these are probably one of the trends that are more emphasized than really new from the last year compared to this year.
Just to get deeper into this point, I've heard a few people in the previous interviews talking to me about the question of transparency, including Chinese companies going to more transparency.
Yeah, as you know, regulation is a very short experience in China, and the consumer spending a lot of time with their pet, and even more this year, has much more time to check what is actually buying. So he spends some time to read the label, some time to read sometimes the technical data sheet or whatever he can find on the social media, but for sure he's getting clever and clever, not only in China. So he wants to know what is in the food of his pet as he would like for himself.
Okay. So do you think the current trend in China, so you say it's more about making sure that everything are more clean, etc. Do you believe it's just marketing, or do you think there is a really, from the manufacturers, this desire to go there because they know that if they don't do that, maybe they will just fail?
What we can say, I don't think it's marketing. Everything is coming from marketing. As soon as you have to address a market, it's a marketing point. What I do feel is that to address the market, you have research and you have innovation. And sometimes you can have a gap between the two. So if you are talking about innovation addressing the market needs or requirement, of course it's perhaps much more marketing this year than it used to be research-wise during the last 5 or 10 years to create more value, more nutritional facts in the pet food. And now, of course, we are talking about much more claim regarding health, for example. You see many labels claiming longevity, claiming skincare, claiming many things around health. So probably what you call marketing is the way we talk to the end consumer about something they are looking for.
Okay. So let's just finish with one question. If you had one advice to a foreign company trying to enter the Chinese market, or a Chinese company trying to launch a new product line here, what do you think it could be?
One advice, it would be quite complicated to get the best one, but for sure, talking about the foreign company, you know that Chinese are really appreciating anything coming from overseas when it comes to luxury, when it comes to things very important in their daily life. So for sure, if we are talking about foreign company willing to come in China, they have to keep their foreign DNA. Don't try to be a Chinese company, remain a foreign company with the DNA of a foreign company. But beside, you have of course to adjust to this very agile Chinese market, moving very fast. So you have to move very fast, and you have to address all the segmentation the Chinese market is looking for. Compared to what these foreign companies are experimenting in their own country, we don't have the same consumer. Our consumer in the tier 1 city is the young lady, 30 years old, and she's looking for a lifestyle. In the Western country, we are more or less with someone about 50, 60 years old originally, looking for a companion. So that makes the things different, and this is a high level of requirement from the Chinese market if you want to address the local domestic market. When it comes to the Chinese one, of course, as you said before, the trust is very important. What you don't have as a foreign company, meaning as a gift, is the trust. You have to build it by yourself. So you have to be even more transparent than any other foreign brand or company. So trust, clean label, explanation, quality driven. Of course, all of these things has to be mandatory to start any pet food business in China.
Okay, thank you Alain for your time.
You're welcome.